as usual, after a meditation, I sit here, I meditate, do my energy cleansing centers. And I like that because then I start going into download. And you know what I do? I look out that window. You know how you can, when you start having things come to you, go like that? You know, it's like, and that's what I look out there, and then it's just, that's when it starts. Well, again, these are things I've talked about probably before, but like tying them together, kind of like I've done with other things, it's like, oh my goodness, this makes all kinds of sense. But it has to do with Einstein, who said, the past, excuse me, and you've heard me say this before, the past and the future exist simultaneously in the present. Now this is quantum, you know, as he says, Joe says, the quantum model. This is, and you already know, we talked about before, just from experience, you can tell right now that there is nothing to experience but now. Right? I mean, isn't that obvious to you by now? That's all there is. Okay? As far as your experience goes. So if the past and the future exist in the present, and that's where you have to go, that Joe teaches, you have to become present, right? One with consciousness is becoming present, and there is no time there. Okay? There's no distance, time. Remember, he says there's no time, no space, you're nobody, no thing, all that. Well, then it hit me. It's also the field of infinite possibilities. So what it really means is, the infinite field, I got this vision of this big screen on the wall. I wish I could have gotten an artist or a visual somehow on the computer to show you this. Because Joe talked about this in one of his mystical experiences, where he saw, this is when his pineal kicked in, and it got the hallucinatory things going, and he saw all these dimensions of time at once. He saw himself as a 6-year-old child. And he entered the scene with himself and sensed himself from both directions. From the child's perspective. And so he was feeling this, but when I realized this big screen, it's like has all these single frames of all infinite dimensions, okay? And they're all in the present tense. And guess what? Your past is in that screen. Your future is in that screen, all existing now. Are you following? Are you getting my picture, though? Mm-hmm. So it hit me. Oh my gosh, this is like a big superstore, like Myers. You know, you can walk in and pick your future, or not pick your future. You can pick your past again if you want to, right? Because it's there. Or you can pick this brand new future, right? Or you can pick, and there's all kinds of categories. Oh, over here we have abundance in many different forms for you. See, it's like all these pictures of ways of having abundance. Are you getting something?
When you started talking about that, I'm sorry, this is like really bizarre. All of a sudden, I got Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. I don't. No. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, seriously, you can check out of that reality. That pick another present.
But here's what we do. Like if you go to Walmart or Meijer, and what do people do every freaking time? They go in and buy the same shit. Every time, because they identify with those same things, so that's what they buy. They have all these other selections. But what do they choose? Because they identify, this is my addiction. This is my programming, so I'm going to pick this again.
That's
But
what greeters are for.
to help you,
That's what the greeters are for when you come in and they say welcome. They're pulling you in to the store to experience that reality. I mean, think about it. If you're going into the store and you've got whatever you're gonna do, I don't know about you guys, but when I walk in and you say welcome to Meijer, it's like, okay, all of a sudden I'm in Meijer.
You're in your program.
Yeah.
but the only thing is, I just see this guy like a commercial on television of this superstore. You know, I'm seeing this commercial, and where this guy is saying, yes, we have all these selections. You know, the only thing is though, we are open all the time, but it's only in present tense. You can't come in unless you're present tense. So see, what most people are doing are what? Thinking about their past or worrying about the future. They're guilty about the past, or they're worrying about what's going to happen because of the past. They're never present. So guess where all of their creations are that they're not seeing? See? But the irony of it is too, though, your present and your future are right there too, all at the same time. And there is no sequence. Just like Joe saw his 7-year-old self. Sequence is our own programming. That's our own programming, to see things in a sequence. And that creates the illusion of time. But anyway, it's just like, I got this. So I'm doing this in my meditation now. See, when I'm going into the field, that's where this is. This is where this superstore is for gods. This is a store for gods to come in and create their... You want to create your past again? Okay. Pick the past again if you want to. And then each department. Over here is your brand new health and body if you want it. See? Over here is your brand new home if you want it. Over here is your passion that you want to create if you want it. And it's like a kid in a candy store if you want. See? But you can't get it if you're not present tense, though. You can't get in there unless you're in present tense. See? And then the only thing it costs you is your thanksgiving and appreciation for it. That's all it costs, is that energy of, see. And I thought, this is how I'm going to visualize going in and picking it out. You know, I'm going to pick this. So this is, ooh, I love this. And I like this new body, you know, that I want. What's really exciting too is Joe just talked about this in his. I'm finding stuff in his recent workshops that are just happening in 2018, and he listed. I have to find this again, but I can't speak them in exact what he said. But he has measured now. In March, he did. Just saw the video. They've measured 8 new gene expressions now that we are not turning on if we're doing. You're not turning them on unless you're doing what he's talking about. And they were amazing things. These were like upgrading a gene that was creating more stem cells. There's a gene that's upgraded that they saw that you create more neurons, more than the 100 billion you started with. See, that's a new thing they've learned since the decade of the brain when I learned all that stuff. They've learned now that you, in the right state of mind and emotion, will create new neurons. We're not talking about using the 76 billion you have. We're talking about adding more to the billion. And they're measuring genetic changes now in all of this. Aging, everything. It's like, remember what we talked about how many weren't here last week? Okay. Did you tell her about anything?
I
I was gonna try to get Mom's.
Well, and I want to just do this real quick because this to me was just another just blow up me out of the water thing. I don't want to spend 40 minutes on it like I did last time, but I just want to give you the view and perspective of this. And now this is also hinges on whether you believe this or not. Now this is what I believe. I believe before I entered this realm in a baby's body that I was an all-powerful, all-knowing, omnipresent God. Okay? I believe I was not born. I've never been born, the real me. I'm eternal. Okay, now think about this. You are the 99.9999999%. Remember the little particle that I talked about, picking up a piece of sand on the beach? This is physical reality. You couldn't even see it if I was holding it up right now. And the field of infinite possibilities is the rest of the beach as far as you can see. That's the 99. And this is where we look for answers. Think about that. Well, also, that expansion of that was who you were as a God. You were the whole beach. Now, think about this concept. You were unlimited. Are you with me? As Joe would say. You were unlimited. You were all powerful. But what happens to you the moment you enter this little baby body? You are totally dependent and powerless. You went from all powerful to no power. Then you get programmed to believing that's you. Right? As you go through the process, then you're getting programmed. Hey, that's you. And the worst thing is, it all solidifies when you're given your name. See, isn't that becoming your identity then? So you've gone from God being, and you've gone all the way down to this helpless little creature. And then you're taught that's who you are. And you're taught to be dependent on everything where? Outside you. Your parents. I got to go to school to learn, right? To get a certificate and actually look like I know what I know.
According to them.
That's what I'm saying, according to out there. But are you getting the picture I'm talking about here?
I just had a thought when you were talking about that, how we were never born, we were always infinite.
Yes.
And then from the Thomas Gospels, Yeshua said, whoever understands these words shall not taste death. And that's what he was talking about. If you understand this and you understand you're always infinite, you never die.
You never die. No. And you were never born. And the big one too is you were never born.
Right.
But everybody in the world believes they came into existence when they were born. Now, and they identify with that, this is me, you have automatically become all matter and no energy. Your total dependence is on matter changing matter. So to get somewhere else, you got to drive there, which takes time. Because this is a separation reality, isn't it? But like Joe says, though, but if you get into the consciousness of oneness with the all in all, you're everywhere again. Just like you were before you got in the body. So you see, where are we going now? We went from infinity into this finite little helpless being. All right, it's time to get back. It's time to get back to who we are. See, that's the whole point of this. And then the gene thing got me, because I talked about this last week. Scientists say there's 98% of our genes are called junk DNA. Junk. But that's because they only understand 2% of it. See? And it hit me. If we have 100 billion neurons in our brain and we can house a universe in here, all the particles of a universe, we have 98% of our DNA we're not using. Oh my gosh. That little baby body was designed to be a God body. All those 98% junk is not junk. Joe's teaching them how to turn on the other genes now. See? And you can go into the store that I was talking about, the unlimited possibility store, and start seeing these frames of who you would rather be. All the creations you want to create that you've never, new things that you've never experienced before, and then you start triggering the neurons. See, every time you do that, you're creating the neurons, which are the antennas that pull it out of the field. Okay? So you have, everyone here is a omnipresent, omnipotent, potential God in a body that was built for a God. Are you with me at all? This is the revelation I got and I talked about last week.
There's a movie, was it Gods and Goddesses? Or Gods and, what was the one with the sun, where you had to pull the sun?
Oh, Gods of Egypt.
Gods in Egypt.
Gods of Egypt.
That's a new movie,
Was that what it was?
fairly new
Okay.
movie.
I just got that like 2 days ago.
Yeah, really good, and it describes that, and I don't want to give you too much detail, but it's like a demigod or whatever he is, you know, thinks that he's lost powers and he's got to do certain things to get them back, and then, you know, once he achieves getting to where he thinks he's going to get all his powers back, he's like, we could have done this all along, you know, and it's just like, and I was like, yes, this is so perfect. Yeah.
So,
Good movie, by the way.
and when I see these things, what I'm doing, because I see what the all in all divine's doing to me when it shows me this. It's expanding my potential. It's making me realize oh my gosh. I've been this helpless being that I thought I was. And I have so much power, I can even take away all my power. I can create the illusion I haven't got power with my power. Are you following me? And you're doing that when you go to this in the present tense where you can pick the past and the future is right there together. So which one you want to choose? You know. And the future doesn't really exist as a concept either. Again, you're thinking in terms of time because you haven't experienced it yet. But if you get into the no time, your future and past are in the same moment, in the same now. Now here's another concept I realized. As you move closer to consciousness with the whole one, with the oneness, you're moving like this. Everybody look at me. You're moving like this. You're getting closer. But right now, if you're more matter than energy or the oneness, isn't there a distance to travel? So does that mean it's going to take more time for your manifestation? Are you following me? But what happens if you really are in the now, conscious with the oneness, with everything? Think about, then wouldn't it happen immediately? I'm in no time now. There's no distance anymore. I'm there. So everything would happen immediately. We're not talking about, and again, that's why I want you to change your vocabulary. Stop using the law of attraction. What's that imply if I have to attract something?
You don't have
You don't have it. But in reality, you are everything. How can you not have something that you are?
It's more just placing that
But
order,
again-
not attracting it.
again-
Just placing that order.
But what again, though, you've been taught that you're physical in the beginning, so you think you have to go somewhere in three-dimensional time to get it. So now you're applying spiritual concepts in physical terms, which is ludicrous. There's no time there. There's no distance there. So if you get there and you get a clear intent with the elevated emotion, that's what people have done when they get their instantaneous healings in Joe's meetings. See, they're getting instantaneous healing because in his meetings, where are they? when they're meditating? Where do they get? What do they get to?
They're in no time.
They're in no time. Remember? So they're getting new bodies. They're getting new things right away. I'm trying to get you to see how powerful and valuable this is. This isn't just, oh yeah, I think I'll just meditate today. Just become calm. Just be peaceful. Okay, that was fun. No. We're talking about understanding the concept of space and distance, making things happen with more matter or more trying to make them happen than we are realizing where we are and who we are now. So he calls it the precious present moment. The precious present moment. Okay. And that was what I wanted to share before we started. So you didn't miss the new thing. I was telling her if he gets here a little too late, he might miss the other stuff. But and so, am I hitting home with anything? Am I? Okay. Everything that you desire is already present tense. And isn't being in thanksgiving and appreciation telling you you've already got it. That's present tense. That's the present tense emotion. That's the present tense emotion. And your body believes it, whether it's out here or in here, and you imagine it. Your body, and like he says, that's when your body becomes one with your mind. And it becomes the mind, and that's when you put your body into that reality. Okay. Well, what we're going to do today, I found some neat stuff. I'm going to play from Joe's stuff. What did I do with these? Here we go. Can you give him one, please? What time is it?
1:39.
Okay. All right, let me do a little survey. Who needs to leave? What time do you need to leave?
2:10.
Oh, okay.
I
thought you were
do
gonna
that.
say-
Don't do that because it could be 5 or 6. So don't go.
Yeah, there was a party here till 1:30 last week. Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, there was one last night till 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, were you here that
She
late?
was here from
Yeah,
2 to 8
yeah.
o'clock. Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to show you. I found some, I just kept finding them. But these 5 to 10 minute testimonies of Joe's, people have come out of Joe's, oh my gosh. And, and of course there's been thousands of them by now. And so guess what I did every day all week? Every day, all week, I watched 4 or 5 of those to start my day. Now think about that. Now, are you wanting to know how to get there? Remember Joe talked about if you want to get better at tennis, you watch somebody that's good at tennis. If you want to get better at dancing the salsa, you watch somebody that's good at it, and then you imitation. Remember, feed the baby. You have mirroring neurons to mirror. Now I'm going to throw Jesus at you again here. Jesus said, "Be careful what you hear, for the measure that you give to it, it will be measured back to you." So, what was I doing? I was paying attention to what I'm hearing all week, and guess what I'm going to get back now? See, you get faith. You get belief. You start building this thing stronger and stronger. All right. The first one we're going to listen to is a lady from Israel. And she's really cute. And I love this when Joe does this. I've never seen him like this. You're going to see the extremely affectionate Joe. He is hugging and kissing every person that comes up there, men included. Hugging and kissing on the cheek. And it's like you just see all this uninhibited. See, I'm an uninhibited hugger. Most people aren't. It's really disturbing to me to hug somebody and they go, It's like the distance hug.
Or the side
Yeah,
hug.
or the side hug, you know, or you know, or some people feel like you're hugging a tree,
They are
you know,
huggers.
or
Oh,
something.
you get 2 kisses.
I love that.
Yeah, and not fake ones where you kiss out here,
No.
you know.
I love
Those are fake. But anyway, let's go to the first.
Yeah, sometimes you have to during flu season.
Well,
I guess it depends on what.
not me.
Right.
My IGAs are the level. It doesn't matter who I kiss. I'm not going to get sick. Yeah, good point. All right, I'm going to go over into. Do you need to go to the restroom? Oh, I thought you were going to get there. Okay. Yeah. Anybody want water? Or there's also Diane's zings are in that thing there if you want.
And I'm sorry I did not bring anything. I have been.
Well, you don't have to apologize. You don't have to
I've been
apologize.
so busy, and I thought this was one.
You brought the most important thing.
That's what I thought.
It's not a requirement to bring cookies.
You brought the most important thing.
That's
You-
great.
Here she is. See her laughing up there? Right there. Okay, here we go.
When I was 18, I was living in Israel and studying at the University of Jerusalem, and I only wanted a dog. I didn't want to study, so I took a dog from the streets, and I illegally put it on the porch where I was living. We weren't supposed to have a dog. And so I was feeding this quote-unquote illegal dog on the porch.